G'day folks. Being the little nerd burger that I am, I'm quite excited with this discovery because what it's enabled me to do is move something from the strongly hypothesized camp into the proven fact camp. Okay? But as we go through this, we're also going to demonstrate this maxim of law. He who questions well, learns well. So, as I sometimes do, I'm just thinking about things and I will just type something into the search engine and see what it spits out. So, I have been quite interested in the notion of joinder. Many times I've heard people say you must rebut the presumption of joinder, or in other words say I don't consent to joinder. And I've often thought, well, joinder between which parties? I understand what joinder is in the legal sense, but joinder between which parties? And as I've speculated quite recently in videos, I wondered if it was joinder between the settlor, the trustee, and the beneficiary of the legal name trust. So I got up this morning and I started looking around, and I'm quite chuffed with what I've discovered. But I'm going to take you through the process I went through, because by going through the same process I went through, you will see that this maxim of law, he who questions well, learns well, is absolutely applicable. Because if I hadn't persisted in narrowing the focus of my question, I would have walked away with a false sense of how joinder applies in the legal name trust. Okay, so let's take a look at the first question I asked. Search assist. Question 1, in a legal sense, are the settlor, trustee and beneficiary presumed to be in joinder? Okay, and search assist responds with no. It gave more than that, but the guts of its response is no. So at that point, a lot of people would say, oh, well, that's not correct then. But having enough knowledge to know that there are many nuances in trust law and in trusts, I thought, well, I'm going to refine my question a little more and ask another question. And so this is the second question I asked. Question 2. In a legal sense, are the settlor, trustee and beneficiary of a revocable trust presumed to be in joinder? You should understand, if you've watched any of the videos I've done, why I've put in the caveat of a revocable trust. Because we are dealing with a revocable trust in the legal name trust, and that is distinct and separate from an irrevocable trust, which is the most common type of trust you will find used in business and in society generally. Okay? So Search Assist came back with this response. No. All right. I thought, can I refine my question even further? And I decided that I could. So here is the third question I put to Search Assist. Question 3. In a legal sense, are the settlor, trustee and beneficiary of a revocable trust presumed to be in joinder when the same man fills all three roles? So now I'm talking about a revocable trust which is identical to the legal name trust, where you are considered to be the settlor, trustee and beneficiary. And what does Search Assist respond with? Search Assist. In a legal sense, when the same person serves as the settlor, trustee and beneficiary of a revocable trust, they are generally considered to be in joinder, meaning their interests are aligned. Folks, inside I'm whooping and hollering and dancing. This is huge. This is, to my mind, an absolute confirmation. I remember years ago, almost a decade ago, hearing someone saying, talking about how you need to tell the police you don't consent to joinder. And I remember one of the responses was that there's no joinder between you and the police. But it's not that joinder. That's not to say there is no joinder between you and the police either. That's a whole other issue, which I won't get into here. But the joinder you're initially rebutting is the joinder between you as settlor, trustee and beneficiary. Because if you don't rebut it, it permits them to speak to you and presume they're speaking to whichever of the three roles they wish to be speaking to in the moment without distinguishing between them at all, because your interests are considered to be aligned. So you need to rebut the presumption of joinder to declare to the court that the interests of the three parties are not aligned, and also to ensure you are not viewed as the trustee. To me, that's absolute confirmation, folks. And I think what confirms it even more, I think what makes it to me even more, confirmed, not really the term I'm looking for, but anyway, what really makes it solid is that the first two questions came back with a no. It's only in this particular case where there's a revocable trust and where the same man serves the function of settlor, trustee and beneficiary in that revocable trust that there is a presumption of joinder. In all other situations, there is not a presumption of joinder. So to me, the fact that it's only in this case is confirming that we're dealing with a revocable trust, confirming that the legal name is a trust, and confirming that in the legal sense, in that very specific circumstance, there's a presumption of joinder between the settlor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. To me, the fact that I had to go to that level of detail before I got an affirmative response is even stronger evidence that this is correct. All right, folks, I will leave you with just a couple of excerpts from the DuckDuckGo Search Assist page so you can see it for yourself. But just type these questions into your own search engine or AI and see what comes up. And don't be perturbed if you don't get the response I got. It just means that the question needs to be focused more in order to force it to respond in an appropriate fashion. Remember, he who questions well learns well. If you leave these people wiggle room, they will wiggle. So when you're asking them questions, whatever question you're asking, when you're pretty sure you know the answer and they're not giving you a direct answer, you've got to figure out how you can narrow the focus of your question so they don't have the wiggle room. All right, I'll leave it there, folks. See ya.